So, as a reminder, everybody, I'm Samantha Harms with the Garrison Public Affairs office. We are here today, obviously, in a patrol vehicle. Would you like to introduce yourself?
And I am Captain Eric Yahnel with the Directorate of Emergency Services, traffic section.
Yes. And we're here to talk about, vehicle safety and collision safety. And we're going to do a little bit of a ride along, riding on the installation. We'll go see some things these are important things to know about. So lately on the installation, we've been seeing quite a bit of collisions at intersections, correct?
Absolutely. A lot of intersections on Legends Way, Murphy, Hell on Wheels. Yes.
Okay. So when you see these vehicle collisions or intersection collisions, what is the number one thing that if you could tell somebody, hey, pay attention to this, or I wish people wouldn't do this because this happens, or if only they would do this other thing, what's the first thing that jumps to mind?
Funny story.
Okay.
We've been on the road now for about 25 seconds and somebody just ran that red light.
Love that.
Prime example.
Yeah.
Please stop at red lights. Please yield in intersections. Even if you have a stop sign, you're required by Texas Transportation Code to come to a complete stop behind the stop bar, if there is one. Look left, look right, look left again. Ensure the intersection is clear before you enter the intersection.
Yeah.
And that's also with a yield sign as well.
Okay, yeah, we were just talking earlier actually about the look left, look right, and then look left again, because you had just seen a collision where somebody chose not to do that or just didn't think to do that, or either way didn't see another vehicle coming and they ended up in a collision.
Yes.
Yeah. So we definitely want to make sure people are doing that. The other thing we talked a little bit about earlier as well is we have a lot of pedestrians on this installation.
We do, not only at PT times, but you know, a lot of these soldiers are young. They get stationed here at Fort Cavazos. They don't get paid huge money, so they don't have vehicles. So there's a lot of pedestrian traffic. We also have a lot of not just pedestrian traffic from the barracks or their places of employment where they work, the buildings they work in, but a lot of motor pools and walking across some of these major thoroughfares as well.
Yeah.
And it's important for pedestrians to keep in mind that you do not have the right-of-way.
Yeah, I think as a pedestrian, I always think, oh, I have the right-of-way because I'm the one, not in the vehicle, I'm the one crossing the street, but apparently that's not the case. Well,
in accordance with the Texas Transportation Code, as a pedestrian, you're required to not leave that crosswalk or that curb or step into that roadway unless it's safe to do so. And what we see quite often is soldiers or even civilians or visitors, whoever is walking around, they're looking at their cell phones, they're looking down, they're not looking up for traffic to see if it's safe for them to cross the road.
Yeah, absolutely. And especially now with everybody who has cell phones, everyone always is looking down at their phone. Even when you're just walking along without having to cross an intersection, just walking from your office to the bathroom, everyone's always on their cell phones. So definitely have to make sure that you are looking up and looking at your surroundings and paying attention to where you are and what everybody else is doing.
That's right. Those pedestrians, they're busy. They're trying to get from point A to point B. So are those drivers.
Yeah.
Those motorists are trying to drive safe as well. And like you mentioned just the other day, a couple of our traffic collision investigators just cleared a traffic scene. They were headed back to the station to do the report, and as you see, this vehicle speeding 12 miles an hour over the speed limit. We've been on the road, what, a minute and 10 seconds?
Yeah, not that long.
so like I was saying, the collision investigators were headed back to the office to do just give them a little warning, turn the lights on real quick. They slow down pretty good. But what it does is it allows other drivers to slow down as well.
Yeah.
So as they were headed back to the office, I'm sorry.
No, that's okay. That's okay.
There was a pedestrian walking across from one of these motor pools, looking straight down at their phone, straight into the roadway, and a vehicle absolutely had to slam on the brakes.
Yeah, that's not good. That's definitely not good. And then the other thing we talked a little bit about as well is, especially when you're going out further, say towards Ballora and out on those range roads, we do have wildlife that's on the installation.
Yes, a lot of wildlife. We do have a lot of collisions with deer and cows, and let me turn this on real quick. The rear directional is just direct traffic to the left. Yeah, so like I was saying, we do have a lot of feral pigs. We have deer, we have cows, we have other wildlife that run out in front of vehicular traffic while they're traveling on these roadways. So what we did is we stopped here at the intersection of Ivy Division and 37th Street.
Okay.
Just a few days ago, you can see right here on the left, a vehicle was coming up to the stop sign and was trying to proceed straight.
Okay.
Meanwhile, this, I believe it was a sergeant first class, maybe a staff sergeant, was headed eastbound on Ivy Division at approximately 32 to 33 miles per hour, which is within the speed limit. You can see the speed limit sign at 30 miles per hour.
Yeah.
So this vehicle right here, for whatever reason, failed to yield into this intersection. And if you can look at the fence right there, that's where this vehicle that was headed west ended up. And I can send you that picture.
Yeah.
I took a picture
that would
for
be
you.
great.
So that tells me that with the impact of the vehicle that failed to either stop at the stop sign or failed to yield in this intersection, was traveling at a speed that would be fast enough to push that SUV 75 feet into the fence over there.
Yeah, that's incredible.
And 37th Street, Murphy Road, Ivy Division, these are huge intersections.
Yeah.
These are the intersections we were talking about where a lot of collisions occur because of failure to yield. What I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and move up here a little bit further so we can kind of get out of the way. When I was talking about interferences with people's ability to see if it's clear or not, it's hard to see.
Yeah.
If you were parked right there.
Yeah, that's quite an impact on that fence right there.
Yeah. It was
That's
The fire department came out and they actually had to stabilize the vehicle.
Wow.
It was too unsafe for them to get in there to actually cut the battery. So we had to call a tow truck, get a couple of tow trucks out here and tow both vehicles away.
Wow.
Fortunately, it was only minor injuries for the female.
That's good.
Soldier that was traveling in that vehicle, but it could have always been worse.
Yeah.
We do have another incident that occurred the other day, which maybe would be a good time to bring up when we're talking about traffic safety and vehicle safety. I don't know if the case is closed yet. I would have to look at it, so I'm not sure how much I could talk.
Okay, that's okay. We'll talk broad strokes. Yeah.
Let's just say you were driving in a Humvee, and you happen to be pulling into a parking lot behind your POV, so you can get a few things out of your vehicle.
Right. Of course.
Well, this operator may or may not have failed to engage his safety brake on the vehicle.
Oh no.
So what happened was he got out of his vehicle to go get some stuff into his POV. The Humvee started rolling backwards. He saw it, tried to get back into the driver's seat to stop it.
Yeah.
And next thing you know, his legs are crushed. And that was just the other day. It is also.
Oh man.
Yes, it's also a Texas Transportation Code to ensure that you engage your brake, your emergency brake, safety brake, whatever brake you have in your vehicle when you're parking it.
Yeah. So that's definitely a good call on that. Wow.
Yes, ma'am.
Ouch. Yeah, my legs hurt now just thinking about that. Yeah, that's something that we haven't really talked about a little bit, is that everybody here on the installation, you are going to have regular vehicles as well as pedestrians, and we've talked a little bit about wildlife, but because we're an active duty Army military installation, you're going to have military vehicles that are driving around as well. So that's an extra precaution of drivers paying attention to, you know, where they may be traveling to. Exactly.
And when I was talking about speed limits, saying not necessarily, even though the sign says 30, it's 30 miles per hour.
Right.
When we talk about tactical vehicles and larger vehicles, their speed limits are actually lower, depending on where they're at in the installation. They have to drive at a lower speed.
That's good to know.
And that's all in the Fort Cavazos regulation 190-5.
Okay. Yeah, that's definitely something for drivers of personal vehicles to be aware of, because if you have a military vehicle in front of you, you definitely want to make sure that you know that. Yeah, wow. I'm assuming, so we've got some lines here on the road. I'm assuming this is from somebody trying to avoid somebody else.
It looks like someone's right side tires locked up on them and it's kind of swerving around.
Okay, yikes. Whew. All right, well, I think that's all what we've got for the video portion. We are obviously going to be doing more. We've got a whole podcast that's going to be coming out. We've got a whole Fort Cavazos Sentinel article that's coming out, so make sure that you tune into both of those things. We'll put some other safety tips for people to be aware of in the description of this video, but we appreciate everybody for watching.